What is going on, y'all? My name is Joltage, and today I'm bringing you yet another SPL game for Little Cup SPL game for SPL 7. This is week 2 between OP of the Tigers and Heysup of the Classiest. Before I hop into this, a little bit of admin stuff. When I get replays, like this one's gonna be a replay, I was unable to catch this live because I was sleeping. But when I get replays, I've decided to try and be a bit more analytical with them, because otherwise you basically might as well just be watching the replay. You don't need me to just give you play-by-play. That's what the battle logs are for. So I'm gonna try and do a bit more analysis of replays when I get them. Also, I'd like to point out that if I'm ever like critical or if I'm ever critical of anyone in SPL's play or whatever, that's just what I would do. There's a reason they're in SPL and I'm not. I'm not in any way saying I'm better than them or anything. I just trying to give what I would do, another perspective on the game. Anyway, now that all that's done, let's focus on this game right here. We've got some cool looking teams. Ella Kid's not a mon you're gonna see very often from OP's side. Other than that, it's a lot of your standard fare stuff, as OP's known to go for. He didn't bring Diglett, which is interesting because OP is known to bring Diglett a lot. Yeah, no, he still has. It's a pretty cool looking team. Yeah, on Heysup's side, it's we've got webs for the first time this SPL, coming not from its normal web setter in Surskit, not even from the second normal setter in Spinnerack, but from the last web setter of LC in Seawaddle. Seawaddle actually has some pretty solid bulk, backed up by its very mediocre typing. But it's actually surprisingly like decently bulky. We've got a Drifloon, which has been gaining a bit of popularity recently, as far as I can tell. Especially the Sub Wisp Recycle set. Yeah, it's other than that pretty standard fare. Abra, I don't think has been seen yet this SPL. Seeing as it's webs, it's probably a Life Orb Abra. But yeah, webs is going to be interesting this game. OP does have webs deterrence in Snivy, who gains +1 speed every time it comes out if webs are down, and Poniard, who gains +2 attack for it. But webs would be useful for dealing with stuff like Elekid here, and just general outspeeding of stuff like potential fast foo, or Drillbur, depending on the mon. But anyway, let's finally hop into it. We've got lead Foo versus lead Seawaddle. If this is taunt Foo, if OP was taunt Foo, he would have gone for it there. I feel like he would have gone for it there, even though Webs helps like Snivy on his team, and like kind of helps Poniard. Poniard's still the slower, but it is free SD for it. I feel like he would have wanted them to not go up in general, but he just goes for the knockoff here, as Seawaddle sets up the webs, and then goes for the knockoff again on Seawaddle's baton pass. I didn't even realize he got baton pass. That's really cool. Into Abra. Yeah, so Abra threatens Mienfoo, so Heysup's going to make a double here out into his Mienfoo, predicting OP to go into his Poniard. Good play on Heysup's part. OP has to switch out of his Poniard into his Fungus. I expect a U-turn from the Mienfoo, as that does end up happening. So right now, Heysup is taking a quick advantage with webs being up and has the momentum in his favor. We've got Abra v Fungus. Fungus goes for the Giga Drain as Abra sets up a sub. Sub tells you that that definitely is going to be a Life Orb Abra. OP doesn't want this Abra getting a free sub, so he's staying in here with his Fungus, which is gonna die to the Life Orb Psychic. OP now goes into a Snivy, who, like I said, gets a +1 speed and is pretty threatening to Heysup's team depending on its hidden power coverage. Heysup decides to go out to Seawaddle to take the first Leaf Storm and does really well. Let's see, and switches out in fear of whatever hidden power, probably hidden power flying. Now that crit on that crit right there on Drifloon matters in the fact that it was good for Heysup because that brings it down into Berry Juice range, which with its Unburden will allow it to outspeed this Snivy now, which it wasn't doing previously. If he hadn't gotten the crit here, it would have done like 40% or so, and Drifloon would have been out of Berry Juice range, and I'm pretty confident in saying that the +2 Leaf Storm would kill from that range. Yeah. As we'll see later, a normal Leaf Storm does like 32% to this Drifloon, so that's real unfortunate for OP. It would have put him in a really good position had he not crit there, but them's the breaks, I guess. So he has to switch out here. He even said dang in the chat, so he knew it was unfortunate. Will-O-Wisp, oh, with the cool little blue fire animation, burns the Drober. I didn't realize it was a blue fire now. Cool. I like the cool little new animations they have. Dark Pulse got a new one. Will-O-Wisp apparently just got a new one too. But OP goes out into his Drober and takes the Will-O-Wisp. Heysup decides to set up a substitute. Seeing what the Drober wants to go for. Rock Slide still busts the substitute. So Floon decides to recycle and gain its Berry Juice back, as Rock Slide's not doing enough to really threaten it. It is 3-hit KOing, but this recycle is putting Floon back to full whenever it goes below half. But anyway, OP decides he's tired of playing that game, so he goes out to his Elekid. Heysup recycles while behind his sub, as Elekid just volt switches out. I assume that was its only electric move. But anyway, we've got Pawn in here. Floon doesn't want to stay in on Pawn because even a burn knockoff will kill from there at +2. And sacks his Seawaddle to the incoming knockoff, then goes out to his Mienfoo. Hope he doesn't want to stay in there, obviously, and is going to go out to his Drober, who, being burned, is kind of useless at this point. Takes the Drain Punch and dies. OP now goes out to his Snivy again. Unfortunately for him this time, like, no matter what hit Drifloon takes, it's gonna be put below half, and its Berry Juice is gonna pop, as you see here. But yeah, that, as you see there, the Leaf Storm did 32%, so the +2 would do like twice that. So yeah, him getting this crit here was really, really unfortunate, because he could have taken out the Drifloon, which proves to be such a problem for him. But anyway, Drifloon's back up to full and faster than the Snivy. OP can't take a acro here, so he has to switch out. Snivy is what he's determined to be his win con. He goes out to his Elekid, fires off a Life Orb Psychic. Chinchou takes that okay, and reveals the Hydro Pump. Hydro Pump typically means a Scarf Chinchou. Hydro Pump typically means Scarf Chinchou. I've never seen a non-Scarf Chinchou use Hydro Pump this gen. There is an agility set with Life Orb that uses Hydro Pump, though there's no Life Orb to see here, so it's pretty safe to assume this is a Scarf Chinchou. So OP's gonna go back out into a Snivy, play the game all over again. Though this time, with where Drifloon is at, he can't really switch it into the Snivy, so he's just going to sack it to this Leaf Storm. Sack his Chinchou to this Leaf Storm because he couldn't bring Drifloon in, or he would be 2-hit KO'd. But again, OP doesn't want to take this Acro, so he goes out to the pawn. Heysup just subs, and then burns the Poniard on the next turn. Pawns knockoff, breaks the sub. If this pawn had pursuit, that'd be really nice for OP, but it does not. It just decides to set up the rocks as Heysup switches out into his Mienfu. OP then decides to go into his own Mienfu on the Drain Punch. It's a pretty offensive Mienfu coming from Heysup, I think. Yeah. So you've got Mienfu U-turned, took a slow U-turn out onto OP's Mienfu took a slow U-turn out of Heysup's Mienfu into Snivy. Snivy's not gonna kill an EV lighted Mienfu from there with a +0 Leaf Storm, so he's got to hope for hacks at this point. Heysup's in a pretty strong position, and by pretty strong I mean quite strong. And he's going for the Glare. Glare doesn't full para on the first turn as Fu is able to U-turn out of there. OP has to hope for the Glare to work again. It doesn't again. OP was probably HP flying, so it was not beating this Poniard without a little bit of luck involved. But OP's shots are looking real low right now. Yeah. All right, but OP's chances are looking really low right now. Snivy was definitely the most threatening mon to Heysup's team, but now that that's down, it's yeah, like I said, not looking good. But he does have Mienfu in on the Poniard. I assume Pawn went for the Sucker Punch there, but was paralyzed, so the Mienfu was able to take it out without taking any damage, so it's not like that mattered. In comes Abra, who can just freely fire off a Dazzling Gleam. He decides he definitely wants the Abra to take out the Mienfu later, so he just switches into his Fu, who's still a safe switch into this Poniard, even at +2 because it's burn. The Iron Head does a good amount on that turn, but he doesn't get the para flinch or flinch to happen, so Mienfu is able to take out the pawn, and Abra's just going to be able to come in and click Psychic. I think it was a well-played battle by both teams as Heysup picks up the victory for the Classiest. I think the Classiest are up in the week at this point, and I think Heysup's victory is going to just further their lead over the Tigers. But I thought it was a pretty well played battle on both sides. On the part of both sides, thought it was pretty interesting that Heysup, despite seeing a Snivy, still decided to go for his webs, and they proved to be really good. The Drifloon, proving why it's gotten more popular recently, was a real nuisance to OP's team, and just kind of was always there to be annoying. That crit that Snivy put on that Drifloon early game ended up being really unfortunate for OP. Had he been able to fire off a Leaf Storm there, it would have I don't know, the game may have turned out a bit differently. Nothing was switching into that Leaf Storm, though Pawn on Heysup's team, and Pawn would have had to take a +4 Leaf Storm to deal with that Snivy. So the game definitely could have been different from that point, but I mean, it's unfortunate. Not often that a crit ends up working against you. Sorry about that. Um, and yeah, cool to see Seawaddle. Seawaddle's not a mon you're gonna see Seawaddle hardly ever in the LC landscape. Um, but it's cool to see. It's definitely um, got, I don't know. It's kind of got a niche in being a bulky, sticky web setter. Though being slow, it's more susceptible to taunt. Um, but yeah, so yeah, all in all, cool game, and really looking forward to see these guys in the upcoming weeks. Heysup improves to 2-0 on the season, and OP drops down to 1-1 after this loss. So if you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment with any feedback you may or may not have. Actually, no, you wouldn't comment if you didn't have any feedback, but comment with any feedback you may have, and subscribe for more competitive LC content, including every single LC game from this SPL 7. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.